One of the strangest realizations you can have in life, or you can have, is when you start noticing that life doesn't come with instructions or a why. And yet, every single day we choose to get up and engage in whatever we get to engage in our day to day lives. And not because you suddenly you found purpose or a meaning or things started making sense. Well, for most of us, but you get what I mean. It's because of this comforting statement we like to tell ourselves. We are here, so why not? I mean, I'm here anyway, so I might as well try it, right? And most of us spend time, or we spend a longer period of time in this state longer than we even want to admit to. Hi guys, welcome back into anything and everything. My name is Essie, and today I want us to talk about the concept absurdism. I want us to talk about it not in a nerdy, philosophical, depressing kind of way, but as a way of life, as a way of moving through this world without lying to yourself. And this is in light of a recent article I wrote on my Substack account. I'm sharing it on the screen somewhere around on the screen. And if you're interested to read it, I will share the link on the description below. Let's roll. Absurdism. So, what is absurdism? This is a concept discussed by French philosopher and novelist Albert Camus, and he introduced this concept to help explain the absurd. So, what is the absurd? The absurd is the tension between the need for meaning and a world that doesn't offer it. This is what I mean. You see, human beings are naturally in search for purpose, clarity, and direction. And the world, on the other hand, responds with silence, indifference, a lack of interest, or rather, no explanations. And this is where we need to pause because it's during this moment, during this realization, that most people branch off to different philosophies trying to find the meaning of life. Here's the thing, when people realize that life doesn't offer any meaning, they tend to respond in different ways. This is that moment people call the existential dread. So some fall into nihilism, which is the belief that nothing in life matters at all. Good or bad, right or wrong, nothing matters at all. Then we have those who lean into existentialism, which is the idea that if life has no meaning, why not create one for yourself? Do things that create a meaning or a purpose for yourself. Now you see, Camus didn't agree with either. Absurdism doesn't deny meaning, and it doesn't pretend that we can fully manufacture meaning either. Absurdism asks you to sit with the contradiction, to accept it instead of escaping it, to be aware, to realize life has no meaning, and to sit with it. Now, that is not all. You see, when we become aware of the absurd, Camus believes that we are faced with three responses. Number one is philosophical suicide. Yes, you had me right. So, life has no meaning. So, why not end it here, right now, and then, and just be done with? An absurd response, yes, I know. And Camus highly dismisses it because it goes against the very foundations of absurdism, which is rebellion and revolting against the silent, the indifferent world. The second one is what he called the philosophical suicide. Now, this is running with a belief system or taking up a grand belief and moving with it anyway, without it's taking an idea and choosing to go with it without thinking too much about it and choosing to move with it anyway, to help you escape that discomfort. It's our religions, it's art, it's all those things that help us stay sane in this world. It's what people tell you. You have to believe in something higher than yourself. That's the point. And then we have the third one, which was liberation. Now, liberation is freedom. Yeah, from the word liberating, it's freedom. This is choosing to live while still fully aware that life is never that serious. Nothing, nothing makes sense. So, and choosing to live anyway. It's freedom from life's limitations and constraints. It's realizing that you can have values. It's realizing that you have free will to have values and dispense them anytime you want. Like today you can decide to be something and tomorrow you decide I'm not that thing. Free will. A good illustration of this shows up in the movie Soul. For those who might have seen it, I want you to focus on the character 22, who at one point she refuses to come here on earth. Why? Because she felt like life she felt like life here on earth wasn't meaningful enough to justify living. And she was waiting for a spark. She was waiting for, you know, for existence to feel worthy. And that hesitation does feel familiar because most of us, a lot of us are also waiting too. We are waiting for meaning, we are waiting for purpose, you know. And absurdism doesn't ask you to find a purpose before living. Actually, waiting for one in the first place is the trap, a mistake, if you may. This is where Camus introduces the story of Sisyphus, the myth of Sisyphus. So, Sisyphus was a man condemned by the gods to push a boulder. A boulder is a big rock, to push it up the hill, and for eternity, that is. And each time he will get to the top, the rock will roll back down. And each time it will get down, he will have to roll it back up. And this is for eternity. You know what eternity means. And so there's no progress, there's no reward, there's no final moment when all of this will make sense. And what's interesting is that Camus focuses on this not as a punishment, but as Sisyphus being aware of this pointless task and still choosing to do it anyway. He knows the rock will fall, but he runs back down, pushes the rock back up anyway. And I mean, he could have stopped at any one point, but it's him following the rock back down and choosing to roll it back up. And Camus tells us to imagine as Sisyphus being happy. Imagine him being happy doing all that. Because he knows it's pointless, yeah? But he chooses to follow the rock back down and take it back up. And that's what absurdism is all about. It's not about hope or despair. It's about choice. It's about realizing that our lives are ultimately in service to nothing in particular. But it's us choosing to live, it's us choosing to laugh, to dance, to love again, and to push forward that matters the most. It's been about positivity so far. And this is the moment I introduce you to the dark side of absurdism. You know, it's a side that most people don't talk enough about. So you see, it's when awareness turns into detachment. It's when nothing matters becomes a reason for, someone to do some harm or commit harm to another person. And how? You see, As I have discussed before, absurdism gives you the realization that you do have free will to have values and dispense them at any point in life. I want you to forget about society, about the checklist that you were born informed society has for you. I'm talking about life. So when you realize this, you realize then all consequences are equivalent. Doesn't matter whether you do wrong or right, doesn't matter whether it's a bad thing or a good thing according to society. It doesn't matter anyway. So for most people, they use that as an excuse to commit, a crime against humanity. But then Camus argues against such indifferences. He says, for him, the fact that we share this truth about life having no meaning, it should be a reason enough for there to be unity and not division. And that is a whole topic I am going to discuss later. It's a whole different episode. As I end this video, I want you to pocket this. Maybe what absurdism asks of us is to love the mundane things in life, to be good at something, to be bad at something, to have long repeating days, to have familiar struggles, you know, to have no answers. You know, it's natural, it's human nature to always want to understand everything that is going on in our lives. And sometimes there will be no answers. Sometimes we won't even get to understand, maybe at the moment. And sometimes having no answers is the comfort you need, you know, to embrace life's meaninglessness so that our minds can have room to experience every passing moment, the fullness of every passing moment in our lives. You know, you know, it is to stop ranking our experiences as more or less valuable. After all, they're all just experiences. Don't value something as sad, good, bad. They're all just it's life happening. The beautiful and the ugly combined. As they say, no feeling is final. Feel it all. It has been nice doing this video. Thank you for staying till the end. And as always, make sure to like, share, and comment. For those who haven't yet subscribed, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe button. Support your girl. Remember to live, laugh, and learn. Ciao.